The Love and LHHATL Atlanta set has never been a stranger to drama. But what unfolded recently left even the most seasoned cast members speechless. Sources close to production have revealed that Rasheeda walked off set in tears after a private confession from Karlie that no one saw coming. Fans are already buzzing, piecing together clues from the latest trailer and behind-the-scenes whispers. But what exactly did Karlie say that shook Rasheeda so deeply? Was it connected to the long-standing rumors about Kirk's secret life? Or did Karlie reveal something entirely new that caught everyone off guard? The tension had been building for weeks, and just when viewers thought things might settle, this emotional bombshell dropped right in the middle of filming. Those lucky enough to be on set described the atmosphere as ice-cold, complete silence after Rasheeda got up, her mic still, attached, visibly wiping her face as she exited the room. And while some cast members tried to comfort her, others stood frozen, unsure of what to do next. It wasn't just a scene for the cameras anymore. This was real. Stay tuned because we're about to break down exactly what led to this unforgettable moment and why fans can't stop talking about it. The energy on set that day was off from the moment Rasheeda walked in. Even without the cameras rolling, yet the entire production team felt it. The usual easy laughter, the casual side conversations, and the quick jokes between the cast, all of that was missing. Instead, there was just quiet looks, quiet movements. Everybody was on edge, as if they all knew something was coming, but no one wanted to say it out loud. Rasheeda stepped onto the set wearing her usual confident look, her hair perfectly styled. Her outfit fit just right. But if you paid close attention, her eyes told a different story. They weren't as bright as usual. Her smile wasn't as easy. She kept glancing around like she was looking for something or someone she wasn't sure she wanted to see. The producers had set up a small lounge space for this particular scene. Nothing flashy, just a round table, 3 chairs, and some soft lighting. Karlie and Bambi were already seated, waiting for Rasheeda. Both of them looked serious, hands folded, eyes down. It's kind of body language that tells you this isn't about casual catch-ups or playful shade. As Rasheeda sat down, she offered a polite greeting, but it was clear she wasn't in the mood for small talk. Her voice was tight, controlled. "So, what's this about?" she asked after a moment, looking directly at Karlie. Karlie didn't answer right away. Instead, she glanced at Bambi, then back at Rasheeda, her jaw tightening. It wasn't like her usual messy energy. This was heavier, more deliberate. Bambi spoke up first. "Look, Rasheeda, we aren't trying to ambush you or anything, but there's some stuff you need to know." Rasheeda's eyes narrowed slightly. "What kind of stuff?" Again, there was a pause. The kind of pause where everyone holds their breath. Even the crew behind the cameras barely moved. Finally, Karlie leaned forward slightly. Her voice was calm, quieter than usual. "It's about Kirk." Those 3 words changed everything in the room. Rasheeda's whole face shifted, her jaw clenched, and her eyes darkened just a little. "What about him?" she asked, her voice flat. Karlie sat down beside her chair, pulling out a slim folder. Not big, not thick, just enough to hold a few sheets of paper, but the weight of it felt enormous. "I wasn't sure if I should say anything," Karlie said quietly. "But after everything that's been going on, I can't keep this to myself anymore." She pushed the folder across the table to erase that. The camera zoomed in on Rasheeda's hands as she picked it up. Her finger was steady, but her expression was blank. That's the thing about real her. It doesn't always show up as screaming or crying. Sometimes it's just silence. Too much silence. Rasheeda the folder slowly. The first page was a flight itinerary. Kirk's name and travel dates to match up with anything Rasheeda could remember. The second page showed hotel reservations. Again, Kirk's name, same dates, different city. It was the third page that really hit. A photo blurry like it had been taken from a distance. Kirk was standing next to a woman, not holding hands, not kissing, but close enough that it didn't look like a random meeting. The camera caught everything. Rasheeda's face tightened, her eyes blinking a little faster, her hands shaking just slightly as she turned the page back and forth, looking again and re-looking again, like maybe she'd seen it wrong the first time. Karlie spoke again, her voice steady. "I didn't want to be the one to bring this to you, but after everything we've been through, I couldn't sit on it anymore." Bambi added softly, "Rasheeda, we are only showing you this because we care. You deserve to know the truth." But Rasheeda wasn't hearing it. Her eyes stayed locked on that folder. Her whole body looked tense, like she was holding herself together with pure force of will. Finally, after what felt like forever, she closed the folder slowly and set it down on the table, her hands folded on top of it, fingers laced tightly. When she spoke, her voice was quiet but sharp. "How long have you been sitting on this, Karlie?" Karlie swallowed hard. "A while." "Why now?" Rasheeda asked. Her voice cracked just a little. "Why? Are you bringing this to me now in front of cameras?" Karlie looked down. "Because ... I didn't know if it was my place before, but now seeing everything going on, hold it back anymore." Rasheeda let out a slow breath through her nose, her eyes closing for a second like she was trying to calm herself down. Then she stood up. Bambi stood too, but she didn't move to stop her. Neither did Karlie. They just watched as Rasheeda pushed her chair back quietly. She picked up the folder and held it in her hand like it weighed 100 pounds. "I can't do this right now," Rasheeda said softly. "I really can't." Her voice broke on the last word. And then just like that, she turned and walked away from the table. The cameras followed her as she moved through the lounge past the production crew. Her mic was still on, catching every breath. Rasheeda didn't say much, just little sounds, soft sniffles, her footsteps echoing in the quiet hallway. When she reached the door, she paused for a second and wiped her face quickly with the back of her hand. Then she pushed it open and stepped. Outside, no big scene, no dramatic goodbye, just gone back to the table. Bambi and Karlie sat in silence. Bambi let out a slow sigh, running her hand through her hair. "This isn't how I wanted today to go," she muttered. Karlie didn't say anything. Her eyes stayed on the door where Rasheeda had just disappeared. After a long pause, she finally spoke. "Maybe it was never going to be easy," Karlie said quietly. "But at least now she knows." The crew cut the cameras few seconds later, but the weight in the room didn't lift. Everyone moved slower, softer. Nobody wanted to be the first to break the silence. Outside, Rasheeda stood on the sidewalk, folders still in hand. Her phone buzzed in her pocket, probably Kirk calling, but she didn't answer. She just stood there, staring at the sky, blinking back tears that kept coming no matter how hard she tried to hold them in. And as news of what happened started to spread among the cast and crew, everyone knew this wasn't just another love and hip-hop moment. This was real. This was deep. And nothing was ever going to be the same again. As Rasheeda stood outside the set, she gripped that folder tighter than she probably realized. The air around her felt heavier with each passing second. There wasn't a single camera crew following her now. Production had agreed not to film beyond that door, but there were still phones recording from a distance. Background crew, assistants, and even random onlookers caught blurry clips of her wiping her face with the back of her hand, standing frozen like she didn't know whether to walk or just break down right there. Inside, everyone else was still sitting in stunned silence. Karlie hadn't moved from her seat. Bambi had quietly stepped to the side, phone in hand, but even she wasn't her usual self. For once, there were no whispered jokes, no side comments. Everyone knew this moment was too real to treat like just another episode scene. The production team huddled quietly in one corner, debating whether they should check on Rasheeda or let her have space. Ultimately, they decided to leave her be for now. Meanwhile, word about what had just gone down was already spreading across Atlanta. Bloggers who had been tipped off earlier in the day that a major scene was being filmed started posting vague tweets and Instagram stories. No names were mentioned yet, but everyone who followed the show closely already had their theories. Fans started writing things like, "I bet this has something to do with Kirk and Rasheeda."